Well, hello. How are we all doing? This is going to be an interesting deck list to most people, I think. We have pure Jesmon. So right off the bat, there's no GX, there's no Ground 2X in this list. It's a lot more budget friendly, slightly. There are some other things in there that can be quite expensive, but this is a list I've been testing for months and months. Even during BT9, I wanted to practice this instead. I did not want to even bother with a single BT9 deck. So what I have here is my current list. I went 4-0 at locals with it. I know it's just locals, but there were some meta decks. There was Metal Garu, Minerva Loop, and Dark Knight. While not Jesmon's worst matchups, I think Blue Flare is still going to be nigh on impossible for Jesmon to deal with, even with this list. But there are some changes, and I will go over them. There'll be some interesting things you'll see. Just try and follow along. So we'll start off. We have of course, 4 Digimons. There's a little bit of glare there, but you can tell that's Digimon. I don't really need to say anything about that. It's Digimon. You're not going to run anything else, honestly. Like 4 Duries, you're fine. Then we get on to the hooks. We have 4 of the starter deck Hookmon. This, at 4, I feel like I'm liking more and more as time goes on. The extra 1k both turns is pretty important sometimes, especially without the GX package. The system on giving memory back on play it doesn't really come up. You're never really going to see that. But this is a Hookmon you really want to see in stack. Then we have 4 of the BT6 Hookmon. Again, I don't think I need to explain why we run this at 4. It's search 5, grab 2 targets, and basically everything in your deck bar options are targets. So you're always going to hit something, especially if you're bricking, which you will brick with this deck a lot. Then to round out the rookies, this might shock some people, but we are only running 2. We are running 2 BT7 Hookmon. I have tried to run this at more, but the more I do it, the more I realise, wow, I'm bottom decking everything else that I need. I'm bottom decking so many things that are not Sistermons that it is not worth the search. Most of the time I will have 1 or 2 sisters in hand for Jesmon. I will have plenty in trash for other sources to play out. I do not like this at more than 2. But that will be all the rookies. So yes, there are some things people might find confusing, like 0 solars. There are no Solarmon in this deck anymore. I feel like, as the thumbnail says, this list has been modified to work after the ban list where Cross 4 is hit. So once Cross 4 is hit, Solarmon's value diminishes completely, in my opinion. Yes, it stops Dexmon. Yes, it kind of stops Blue Flare. But for me, Dexmon is not that big of a problem. Yes, you will lose your sisters on board. Whatever, who cares? They can all be played from trash. You will lose 1 Digivolve, or you will be Digivolved by 1. Again, who cares? Jesmon has Blitz. If they Digivolve the next ante, you're fine. Because then you can your Jesmon will then be able to swing for more checks next turn. You are completely fine if you get hit by Dex 1, in my opinion. Unless you are bricking extremely hard. And you need to fill the board with searchers and all that kind of thing. But you also will have the Decoy Blanc. And the Decoy Blanc will stop any Hookmon or any red line from being deleted by Dex 1. So if they play a Dex 1, they are like, and then you can easily, with this deck, swing over it next turn. Easily, without fail. So I feel like, yes, Solar is still a good floodgate, I just personally don't like it being a dead hand or dead card in hand in a lot of matchups. And I would rather fill my rookies with Huckmons so that I have the consistent, these are hits, these are not hits, and all that. And these are all very good to have. So moving on to the level 4s, pretty standard, 4 each of the Battle Huckmon. Again, I don't think anything different is worth it. You're going to be hitting these are the ones you want in stack. This one will blow up small bodies, this one will give you more DP. That's what you want to see. Then, one BT6 Huckmon, Saviour Huckmon. Of course, we would run this at more if we could. This card is broken, this card is insane, and I give me 4 of this back, please, thank you. Then, we're moving on to, in my opinion, the actual reason this deck is insane. 4 starter deck Saviour Huckmon. I'm seeing a lot of Jesmon players Digivolve this in Raising, and I refuse to understand why. This card is insane value if you do not Digivolve in Raising. When Digivolving, attack an unsuspended, or when Digivolving, this Digimon may attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon for their turn. Insane. So you can easily build up a level 4 in Raising, and honest to God, set up and wait. Eventually your opponent will have to raise out, and you can easily react to their board. You can clear board easily with this deck. You can answer any stack in this game with this deck. Even if that stack has protection, there's a good chance you swing into that stack. Okay, let's say it's a Metal Garu, for example. This happened at Locals. It was a full Metal Garu stack. They had protection. One turn, I raised out, went into this, Jesmon for Blitz, swung into this, got rid of their protection. The next turn, they couldn't kill me anyway, because they didn't have enough swings. So the next turn I just deleted all their progress on board. Easily, before I even attempted to swing at their security. This card is insane, and any inherit, obviously, you play a sister from hand or trash when attacking once per turn. Again, cracked. Then to round out level 5s, we are on 2 copies of Chimeramon. A lot of people run this at 1. Again, it's something I don't agree with. Chimeramon is one of the first targets in this deck we're seeing here that is bottom decked by everything. It's trashed by everything. This is not a searchable card. And you really want this card in hand. This card will help you unbreak, it helps you close out games, it helps you set up another stack if one of your stack goes badly and dies. It is an insane card. But now, moving past the level 5s, obviously we are on 4 copies of the starter deck Jesmon. Insane. This is Power Crit BT6 Jesmon tenfold, it is ridiculous. 4 to evolve, doesn't matter. You get Blitz, you can play Sisters whenever you swing, even it's not once per turn either. So this is on top of Saviour Huck. You get 2 swings and 2 Sisters, easy. And then you get extra checks and more DP when you play a Sister once per turn. Crack card. Then, to top off, top end, you're running 2 Jesmon X Antibody. Once again, this card is cracked. It's not always the top end you want to see if you're not really clear on a board, I feel, so which is why I only run it with 2. It has Piercing by default, and when Digivolving, play out a Sister, and everything on your board gains plus 2k and can attack unsuspended until the end of your opponent's next turn, which is vital. Because a lot of the times with DP based removal, CLs will survive, most, because they will not die to Crimson Blaze, which is huge. And Blonks still will, because there's no GX package, but realistically, you can still win through Crimson Blaze with this deck. It's hard, but it's very possible. Then, we're moving on to the Sister package. I start off 3 BT side block. 3, I feel, is the guaranteed good safety net number. This is the most important system one in the deck. You really want your sisters to have value once they are played. This gives them instant value, makes every single one of them a blocker, and your opponent has to deal with that board state. So if you play out 2-3 sisters while you're going for your big arrow swing, you now, every single one of them has a blocker. You can play 2 of them at once to make it even harder to deal with. Then we have 2 of the starter deck blank. This card is on play, trash a card from hand, draw 2, insane draw power. If you're bricking, really good on play. Then all turns, if you have a Digimon with Huckmon or Royal Knight traits, it gains Decoy Red-Black. This is really, really fucking good. If you have, let's say, a Huckmon on board or a Jesmon that's going to get hit by a Dire Force, Decoy comes in so clutch a lot of the time. Which is why I keep running it at 2. But that's it for the blocks, so we'll move on to the CLs. We have 2 copies of the starter deck CL. Insane search power. Even when you hard play it, it's a 4 cost, but you search top 3, grab a Huckmon or Royal Knight, and then trash the rest. And then it will also give your Huckmons and Jesmon reboot, which will make it even harder for your opponent to answer your board. Then we have 2 copies of the BT10 CL. Once again, insane card. You can swing with Jesmon, play this out, Digivolve into X-Ante and keep turn. You can and then fill your board even more because X-Ante plays Source Sisters. Then, finish off the CLs, we have 2 copies of the BT6 CL. Insane card. Literally one of the best cards in the deck. On play, gain a memory. Very broken, honestly, to keep turn once you've gone into Jesmon. And all turns, your Jesmons and Huckmons get an extra 2 KDP, which is crazy, crazy good. But now, moving on to the options, we have 3 from Master to Disciples. This is a crazy good search card. You search top 3, add a sister, Huckmon, or Royal Knight Digimon, and you trash the rest. Trashing from searching with this deck is insanely good. It does not matter if things go in trash because you can play things from trash or Chimera to gain things back. Then we're on 1 red memory boost. This I mostly use for the hard brick turns. If I see this in hand and I don't see a single red source in my hand, this is getting played 100%. Because I have opened many a game where I've only seen sisters in hand. Then we're on 2 Crimson Blazes. This card is insane. It would not surprise me whatsoever if this card ever gets limited. You reduce the play cost for each Digimon your opponent has in play, deletes everything that's 6k or less, and it stops your opponent from playing things by effects until the end of their turn. Crimson Blaze shuts down this deck so hard it's insane. It shuts down Minerva Loop, it shuts down Blue Flare, it shuts down so many goddamn decks. Then to finish off the list, we are on 2 copies of BT1 Tie. I have not seen a single Jesmon list still running Tamers. And in my opinion, I feel like if you're going non-GX, this is a must. Because even though your Jesmon has Blitz, you want to keep your Battle Hudson raising before you go into Savior. This will make sure you can raise out and still go into Savior than Jesmon. Then Jesmon gets even more checks when the time comes. I feel like getting memory choked right now with this deck is ridiculously hard to deal with. Even though you've got your options to reduce evil costs, gain memory back from everything, getting memory choked sucks with this deck. You're going to take so long to build up compared to what your opponent can do if you do not run these ties, I feel, without the GX package. With the GX package, yes, there's no space for it, whatever. This is a list without the GX package, and I feel like this is, in my opinion, the most ideal list you can ask for. that shall be it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope I've inspired you somewhat with my deck list, my deck choices. Some interesting ones, some non-interesting ones. Let me know your feedback in the comments. I may listen to it, I may not. I've been very back and forth on a lot of this list. I feel like some maybe few changes I'll make is bumping X ante to 3, cut the Mem boost, maybe put one Solarmon back in and cut a starter deck Hulk or something. But I feel like I'm in a very good position with this deck right now, and I feel like I can pilot it to the best of my ability. I will see when the time comes for Ultimate Cut, but until then, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.